morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Money Monday, secured entrepreneurs. We have to get into this whole Bank of America, no money down mortgage, no credit check, no need for homeowners insurance. You all are emailing. We got about 8 or 9 emails, and I thank you for emailing. Please continue to do so at info@AurorahDayConsulting.com. Okay? Miss Aurorah, some of you are saying, is this a scam? Are we being tricked? Is this a trap? What are your thoughts on this? Have you seen this? Do you know anything about this? So what does Miss Aurorah do? Now, I go online, and I do see that there are some videos here on YouTube with people, you know, making these happy videos that Bank of America is doing this and all this. I said, oh my gosh, this is 2008 all over again. What's going on here, right? So I pull up, I start searching it. I find one article in the Insider that said all of these things. And we're gonna look at that article in a moment here, right? Said all these things, okay? And then I went to Bank of America's website and I didn't see anything. I didn't see any of that from the article on Bank of America's website. So then, you know, Miss Aurorah had to make a phone call, right? Okay, and let me not get too far ahead here. So let me back it up. In your emails, 2 of you said you were online at Bank of America, and you did not see this information there either. Okay, so I'm here to tell you in this video that Miss Aurorah did not see that at all. However, in this video, Miss Aurorah is going to get into what this program really is, who the program is really targeting, and how Miss Aurorah is giving it a big thumbs down. Let's get into it. For those of you who do not know who I am Miss Aurorah Dey, and this is the Secured Entrepreneur Movement. All right, now, secured entrepreneurs, when we started to receive the emails about this Bank of America zero down mortgage, this is the first article that came up for me when I started to do the search. Bank of America just launched a zero down payment mortgage in 21 cities that could make it much cheaper and easier to buy a home. So I was already midway with the thumbs down as soon as I saw 21 cities. I said, okay, let's talk about the demographics that they are targeting in the 21 cities. Okay, making it much cheaper and easier to buy a home. Then I was like, okay, what kind of home are we talking about here? Okay, so it says, imagine getting approved for a mortgage on your dream home without having to make a down payment, pay closing costs, or have a minimum credit score. Okay, so I said, oh, they got all the red flags going today. That could become a reality for borrowers in 21 cities after Bank of America announced a new mortgage plan that aims to close the racial home ownership gap by offering eligible, keyword, first-time home buyers of all races affordable home loans. The Community Affordable Loan Solution will be available in appointed markets, including in historically Black and Hispanic neighborhoods located in Charlotte, North Carolina. That was like the, oh Lord Jesus, don't get Miss Aurorah started, okay? Because now I'm about to get into this. Dallas, Detroit, Los Angeles, and Miami. How many of you know there's over 42,000 people homeless in Los Angeles, sleeping on the streets in Los Angeles? Hello. The plan requires no mortgage insurance or minimum credit score, and instead uses credit guidelines based on factors like rent, utility, phone, and auto insurance payments. To qualify, borrowers must complete a home buyer certification course prior to application. Home ownership strengthens our communities and can help individuals and families to build wealth over time. This is AJ Barkley, the head of neighborhood and community lending for Bank of America. This person said this in a statement, right? Our community affordable loan solution will help make the dream of sustained home ownership attainable for more Black and Hispanic families. Okay, so this is the first inkling, they're telling you who they're targeting, and they're targeting low-income Black and Hispanic families. Okay. The Community Affordable Loan Solution is a measurable of the Equal Credit Opportunity Act passed by Congress in 1974. So 45 years ago, to prohibit discrimination in the lending process. However, since 2017, the homeownership rate for Black Americans has been nearly 30% points lower than that of white Americans. Although the U.S. homeownership rate soared in 2020, data shows the gap is widening. According to the National Association of Realtors, the U.S. homeownership rate now stands at 65%, but the rate for Black Americans lags significantly behind at 43%. For white Americans, the rate is 72%, and for Hispanic and Asian Americans, the rate remains above 50%. All right, so now they're going to get into how they're eliminating three major roadblocks to home ownership. As inflation and interest rate hikes increase, the cost of home ownership housing affordability in the U.S. has fallen to a 33-year low. For many Americans, especially Black borrowers, the majority of whom earn less than the U.S. median income, and Ms. Aurorah already gave you a video on where you're supposed to be at your age at this time in life, okay? Home ownership has grown further out of reach. As the gap in home ownership rates for Black and white Americans has widened, it is important to understand the unique challenges that minority homeowners face. This is Jessica Louch, the National Associate of Realtors, Vice President of Demographics and Behavioral Insights, and she says this in some housing study. Housing affordability and low inventory has made it even more challenging for all buyers to enter into home ownership, but even more so for Black Americans, okay? A huge hurdle to home ownership for Black Americans is a lack of credit. How many of the secured entrepreneurs know that Ms. Aurorah has been asking all of the secured entrepreneurs to fit the profile? Credit, okay? Because it prevents them from obtaining loan financing. So I want you all to pay very close attention to what the article is saying, okay? That they've got this program, is targeting these people who have low income, no credit, can't afford insurance, okay? This is interesting. A study conducted by the mortgage marketplace LendingTree found that while mortgages are denied for people of all races, the share of Black homeowners who have had their mortgage request denied is notably higher than the share of the overall population. According to the company, the denial rate for Black borrowers is double the denial rate for the overall borrower population. Well, they're not telling us anything that we don't know. Because lenders use credit scores to help figure out how likely a borrower will be to repay what they owe, those with lower credit scores generally have a harder time getting approved for a mortgage. This is Jacob Chanel, the senior economist at LendingTree, and he told this to The Insider. Black Americans, unfortunately, tend to have lower credit scores than members of other racial groups do, which means they often have a harder time getting approved for a mortgage. In recent years, Americans and housing experts have called for different alternatives to credit scoring in the mortgage lending process, as historical economic racism often puts people of color at a disadvantage. Okay, we do know that. Here we go. Bank of America's plan to ditch credit scores and instead focus on rental and auto payments could improve approval rates for people of color and ultimately give them a better shot at the American dream of home ownership. Somebody get the shovel and the pooper scooper, because this is a whole lot of hot mess. Woo! Don't get Ms. Aurorah started. Now, you all were saying, how come you can't find any of this information on Bank of America's website? So, Ms. Aurorah went to Bank of America's website. Here we go. So Ms. Aurorah came to Bank of America's website, and I see low down payment mortgage, not no down payment, right? So I saw low. That's okay. Making home buying more affordable with the 3% down payment. Okay. So maybe my city is not one of the 21 cities. This is the first thing I think, like maybe I'm just not going to see that because maybe my city is not one of the 21 cities. So, okay, this is what Bank of America has to say. Our commitment to affordable home ownership. We're committed to helping home buyers thrive through the power of home ownership. The Bank of America Community Home Ownership Commitment provides solutions for modest income and first-time home buyers. Modest income, hello, including affordable mortgages, grant programs, resources, and expertise. Now, affordable loan solution mortgage. This mortgage offers a 3% down payment and a competitive rate. Here are the key requirements. Here we go. Now the article did mention this now. Home buyer education may be required for first-time home buyers from a HUD-approved counseling agency. Now, how many of the secure entrepreneurs know that HUD does this whole program where you have to take the courses and you learn all about budgeting, and this is how you're actually going to know how much you can afford as it relates to not only the house payment, but all of the utility bills, the taxes. Like, they give you a pretty good education so you'll know what you can and cannot afford. It's not a fantasy anymore because they're going to break you down, right? Okay, so Bank of America is saying, oh, we could do this, but basically it's a HUD-approved counseling agency that you may be required to go through, right? Income and loan amount limits apply and vary by location. Because what did the article say? 21 cities. Okay. 1 unit properties. 1 unit. So this is not a 2-family home, a 3-family home, an apartment building. This is a 1 unit property. Up to 97% loan to value, 105% combined loan to value. Additional restrictions apply for 2 unit properties. Okay, so they got the CLTV at 95%. It requires secondary financing to be an affordable down payment assistance program. All right. Then it says loan amounts up to $647,200 with 3% down payment and up to $970,800 with 5% down payment in high cost areas. 21 cities. And I'm sure that in all 21 cities, you got a high cost area. And a home that's $970,000 is a small home. A home that is $647,000 is a small home. However, you're going to get these loan amounts clearly, yes, you got to have a 3% down payment and you must have a 5% down payment. So now we're not talking about, very low income here. That's not what that is, okay? Mortgage insurance is required. Now we read in the article that mortgage insurance was not required. That's really interesting. However, it's at a reduced cost compared to most conventional loans. I said, oh my God, this is a trick in a trap. Now here's where people were talking about this grant and this money that you could get for closing costs and all that. So it says, visit the Bank of America Down Payment Center to search for programs you may be eligible for, including the America's Home Grant and Down Payment Grant programs available in select markets, plus other programs offered by state and local agencies, nonprofits, and employers. Okay, so here we go. What was being reported was that you could get this 0 down, no credit check, no mortgage insurance. You're just going to go by, like we read in the article, we're going to go by if you pay your rent on time, or all these things. Well, that's all HUD. That's all. If you go through the HUD thing, they check, they do all that with you. Okay. And then they have down here other types of mortgages that they're going to offer. But I want to stay focused on this because this is the topic. We had a whole lot of people giving this information, okay, which is why you all were emailing, okay? And you see how they put the lovely button up here, pre-qualify now, okay? All right. Let Ms. Aurorah give her commentary on this. Okay, now you saw what the insider had to say. You saw that article, okay? You also saw Bank of America's website. So of course, when Ms. Aurorah goes to Bank of America's website and sees this,
and I'm not seeing any of that information, as you heard me say, I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe I'm not in one of the 21 cities. Maybe I don't get that information that the insider has reported. So Miss Aurorah makes a call. So I call a manager, a young lady that I have worked with many times with many clients, to inquire about this situation. So she says to me, well, we have so many mortgage programs, we have so many programs, and yes, this one is in conjunction with HUD. So all these things is what really HUD is going to assist you to do, and we will be the party that will actually assist the individual or individuals to obtain these particular types of loans based upon their qualifications. So then we got into, if in fact you have to apply for a grant, because she did verify that they are working with agencies that you can apply to, and if you qualify to get a grant to cover the cost of the down payment, cover the cost of the closing costs, the taxes, things like that. There are grants. So she did say that if you're going through HUD is really the agency that's giving these moderate to low income individuals these loans. They are just going to satisfy the loan on the back end. Okay, now, what gets me about this, and the reason why it's a thumbs down for Miss Aurorah, number one, all of the secured entrepreneurs know that this is a show that we will not be attending or playing a part in. We don't put anything in our names. So we're not going to buy a home in our names. We're not going to get no mortgage loans in our names. We're not doing any of that. So ixnay. So I'm answering this question for the individuals who emailed saying that that would be a nice thing if in fact there was a true program that they didn't have to jump through the hoops and things like this. But let me just say this. You read an article who they're targeting. They're targeting people of color and Hispanic individuals who they know don't have credit history, who they know have a hard time paying bills, who they know are still visiting rent-a-center and places where they rent furniture, who they know are people who still doing payday loans, people who they know are going to what they call a buy here, pay here to get an automobile. These are the people who they are targeting, and that's not to shade anybody, okay? They're targeting the people who, we all know when you go through the HUD program, they bust you down, okay? This is how much you make, how much you've been paying. They take in consideration all your bills, everything that you owe to anybody, and then they tell you, okay, this is how much you could actually really afford, okay? And so we're going to help you get something so that you can afford this. But you're still the individual who wants, like I said, you'll take a payday loan. You will try to get some illegal cable at your house because you got to have your entertainment. You got to have your cable TV and all of that. You will still go to the buy here, pay here to get a car because you really don't qualify to get a car loan. Like, that's who they are targeting. And it is wrong. It is wrong. Okay, let's go back. What happened in 2008? How about the people who are still displaced today because they had these jacked up mortgages? What do they call them? Adjust rate mortgages. Okay, I got caught up in all of that too. All right, so I'm telling you something from experience. Okay, then they mess you up and they blow that whole thing up. Now you don't really qualify anymore because what they qualified you before is that was your true situation. And then when that thing goes up, oh, you no longer qualify for that. We already know we're coming after the home. We already know you can't afford the homeowner's insurance. We already know that you cannot pay this HOA and go through all the hassle the HOA is putting you through. And you can't pay these taxes. They already know. They already know their audience. So the question is, why would you target these people? Why would you do it? What did I just say to you all? That they listed, the insider story listed these individuals who live in Los Angeles. Well, they're estimating 42,000 people living on the street in the city of Los Angeles, living in these tents. Okay. Some of these people go to jobs. Some of them don't. Some of those people do have mental illness. Some of them are getting Social Security, disability, okay? But they're living out on the street. What about the individual? Because remember, this program is for first-time home buyers. They don't have anything for hardworking people who lost their homes back in the day and still don't have one. They don't have anything for people who really need to start working on their credit, because you heard what I've read, that they already know that this demographic don't care anything about credit. They wouldn't think to work on their credit, because this is a whole demographic full of people, and it's not going to be everybody, but this is what we do here in the Secured Entrepreneur Movement. We have these real conversations, and Secured Entrepreneurs, comment below and let Miss Aurorah know what you think about what I'm saying, because this is another trick in a trap. Number one, the article said, American dream of home ownership. You're right. It is a dream, because you'll never own that home unless you pay the bank all their money, every cent and dime. So as long as you are residing in the property and you're paying a bank, then you are a glorified renter. And you are tricked into, when you fill out little applications, do you own or do you rent? And you check the box, own. You don't own a damn thing. Okay, you don't own it. The bank owns it. So you're in this la-la land, this fairy tale, and you could be paying on time every month. The moment that you miss a payment, you might as well have borrowed money from the mafia, because these goons will get on you. I'm talking phone calls. I don't have to tell y'all. Y'all been there, done that in the past. Okay, Secured Entrepreneurs don't even mess with any of that now. We don't have those kind of affairs going on in our lives now. But this is a real thing for a lot of people, and I just really, really believe that Bank of America is going to have to come again with something that would target eligible individuals, or something that would assist these people who are displaced, okay, who are actually out here working, out here earning money, and maybe they do want a home. Maybe they do want to get caught up in all of that. Maybe they do need assistance, maybe they do need a mortgage because they can't just pay cash for something, okay? What about that group of people? Why are you clearly targeting people who really cannot make it happen? That's the question. And you got grants, and you got all the help for the people to get in there. But you own the home, and you know that you own the home. So I want to hear from the Secured Entrepreneurs. What are your thoughts on this whole situation as it relates to what Bank of America is partnering with HUD to do? So you would go through HUD, but Bank of America obviously is going to see that loan through. I don't have any objection to HUD, because a lot of single women, a lot of single mothers have gone, and fathers, single fathers too, and single men have gone through HUD and have had, some great living spaces and things like that. But again, you're not in a position, most of these people are not in a position where they're actually going to make more money. So at some point, the property becomes a bit of a burden, all right? Because you gotta keep, depending on what type of property you have, you gotta keep that yard together. You gotta keep those appliances together. Stuff starts conking out. The plumbing goes, the furnace goes, the dishwasher goes. Like all these things that a person never had the responsibility of before, they now have. And I don't know if HUD accounts for these things that may, and especially if you got a new construction, they're not building these homes with anything substantial. So the home is liable to fall down around you in about 2 to 3 years. Okay. And how many of the Secured Entrepreneurs could testify to that? Okay. It's like, my God, this is a new appliance. They put the cheapest stuff in these new builds. It's horrible. So I hope that, okay. Anyway, Secured Entrepreneurs, comment below, because Miss Aurorah is really on fire about this farce. That's what I'm going to call it. So for those of you who have not taken advantage of the Secured Entrepreneur Activation, go down below, click the links, because this is exactly what we're saying. You should never have a need to go and try to get a mortgage in your name. Everything should be handled through your business, because we know that secured entrepreneurs have credit. What? We fit the profile, okay? We have active income. We have passive income. We have residual income. We got legacy wealth being built. That's what we do here in the Secured Entrepreneur Movement. Go down below, click the links for the Secured Entrepreneur Activation. If you are all about your trust right now, the link for the Trust Basics course is down below as well. Comment. Let me know what you think about this mortgage loan targeting poor people of color, poor Hispanic people. All right, that's all Miss Aurorah wants to share in this video. Until next time, you know you can find me at AurorahDayConsulting.com. And until next time, ta-ta.